What's going on, people? Back again, another episode of Footy Talk. Man, like James, blood. I feel like
yes, lad.
Ages, bro.
Speed time on it, lad. You know what, lads? It's good to see you, my mate. It's actually good to see you. You know what I mean? Like we said, we haven't done a show for a while. Big up to everyone who's showing love in the chat. I always see you. I always get mega love when I come on this channel. So I appreciate it,
my
mate.
guy. What are you saying anyway, bro? You know what I'm saying? Apart from the obvious, blood, you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what, lad? I'm going to start about my day because I want to start this episode positive, lad, because I feel like we're not going to have many positive things to talk about. So I've had a good day, you know, lads. I got a training session in before. I've seen you've been doing your bits as well. So it's been giving me fuel, lad, to make sure that I get my bit done in the day. And what else have I been doing, man? I haven't been looking at the Premier League table, that's for damn sure. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah, well, it's all right. None of us were 3-point collectors this week, as well. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I mean, even though, like, I took the piss out of you, that's just because you always do. You got the clip of the weekend. You got the clip of the weekend. You probably got the clip of the month. That was unreal. Like, spun me, G. I was like, that was elite. That moment right there. Well, even though the next day we got slaughtered, mate, I still watched that clip back and smile. Honestly, mate.
That was horrible, man. You know what I mean? Just the timing of it, bro. Like, the timing of that was horrible, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what? It wasn't even 60 seconds later, bro. It's in the same clip.
It was literally like seconds apart because this is what I was. So I was watching the game, yeah, and then obviously they got the goal, and I was like, shit. I didn't even watch any of the replays of the goal. I was like, right, Rants, because I was there with my mate watching the game. I was like, right, I'm typing him, I'm seeing these reaction. Anyway, so I went on. Saeed's just there like, spud me, G, and I get on that exact moment, and I'm like, oh, no way is this about to go down like this? And then Saeed just sets himself up for it. He basically, like, De Bruyne's himself, he assisted himself up for it. It's mad, man. Do you know what I mean?
He done the smud and then he done the meltdown after. It was like, oh, fam.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
Like, honestly, like, when it comes to Saeed, bro, he is the king of getting clipped. Like this bro said, like, literally. Bro, like, every time.
Entertainment values, yeah. Entertainment value is another level when it comes to Saeed. Win, lose, or draw, mate. Win, lose, or draw. I mean, to be fair, I can't fucking stand them when you win. That's anyone, though. That's near enough anyone, innit? When you lose, though, I'm not going to lie, my mates, I'm there quicker than you can say Sonic. I can tell you that for free. But
nah, it's true. Nah, it's fucked, bro. But that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm not here for entertainment value, bro. I told man, bro, like man does football shows, innit?
Here for that's the football talk.
I'm here for the football. I'm not here for the entertainment. So when Saeed's doing all them theatrics, like, I'm just like, bro, I don't need this. I don't need this kind of. I don't need this kind of heat, blood. You know the ones there. When I see man's been clipped up and that, flipping hell, bro.
You knew that was going to happen. The second that finished as well, the second that, you know, that sequence ended, you were like, yep, that's going all over Twitter, Instagram. I've seen you've been like doing your little one-show appearances, like in WWE sometimes with Brock Lesnar, your little one-show appearances on Twitter, like just when you need to, do you know what I mean? Just when you need to.
But that's it, bro. Like, that's what I mean, man. Just come in and out. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's it, bro. Like, Edge came back at WrestleMania, blah, but I don't need to fight every night. You know them ones, I just come in for the main events and that. You know, like that.
That's it.
And that's just what it is, bro. So like, yeah, bro. I don't need to be on Twitter all the time. I would just jump in and out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And just use it as I want, bro. Do you know what I mean? Just people don't think that they could chat shit, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And get away with it. Nah, bro. You know what I mean? The streets are always talking, blood. So I always have to make an appearance every now and then, innit, to let the pagans know, bro, that I do what I want.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I do what I fucking want, blood. You know them.
There's nothing you man are gonna do about it, yeah.
But that's it.
I hope you see this. You Twitter.
Them man were like, "Oh, Rants. Oh, how come you came back?" Because I felt like it, and then I left again. You know, like that. Because I do whatever the fuck I want to do, bro.
I reinstalled and I deleted. Why? Because I can. Because I can, bro.
Mad thing. You know what I'm saying? How are you feeling, bruv? I know there's vodka in that water bottle, blood. You know there was.
Yeah, man. You know the score, lads. Obviously,
hey, Klopp's got you, man, fucking rattled, bruv.
If you don't laugh about it, you cry. And I've been crying for weeks now, so I'm done crying. I've got no more tears left. I'm ready to just accept that we've got that we're just not that good right now. And you know, you can talk about why that is, but at the end of the day, it's an issue with the club. That's one thing that's the conclusion that I come to, because at the end of the day, you've got different Liverpool fans saying it's Klopp. You've got different Liverpool fans saying Thiago slows the game down, which is nonsense. And I'm not saying I agree with all.
But he does though. But that's why I don't think he's a Klopp style player.
Yeah, let me just name a few of the other points as well. So he's not rotating the squads enough. There's many, FSG then get brought into the conversation. So when all these excuses are being made by different groups of Liverpool fans, maybe they're all true in some aspect, but that's when you've just got to come to the solution. It's not just any one thing. It's more just everything collectively. However, the only reason I have a problem with it is because we can still be doing much better even under the current circumstances, in my opinion. I think we can still be higher where we are in the table. I still think we can take points where we never got points. Three losses at home at Anfield, Rants. We've lost the same amount of games in the last 20 than what we did the previous 80 games. And most of them have came at Anfield. It doesn't make no sense when you actually really think about.
But it makes sense if you take into account that you don't have the cop end no more, yeah, bro. Like, you don't have the fans.
Bollocks. But listen, I have heard that excuse. I've heard that.
Yeah, people say that it's bollocks, yeah. But bro, like United have got we've got our worst home record in Premier League history at the moment as well.
I'm not saying it doesn't have a factor to play to it, but please don't come at me with that excuse. It's not a good enough excuse. It's really, really not. There's things on the pitch that can be changed, in my opinion. Right, this is my number one issue, and I can only speak for myself. And I'm not doing the whole. But ask many Liverpool fans this, and they'll probably agree with me. Yeah. One thing that hasn't worked recently is putting two midfielders at the back.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't in the slightest. And one of them players being Henderson, I'm not going to go on one of them long little mad things, but if you push him further forward, it helps the build-up play, is what I'm trying to say. And that's what our problem has been recently. So when we get the ball to Mane and Salah, it's too late by that point. They've been marked. They've got 2 or 3 men around them. And then what do you expect them to do? Just jump past them like as if, but expect them to do that every second of the game, because we're not giving them clear-cut paths, bro. We're not actually finding them like the way we used to, and it's because we're not higher up the pitch.
Why did you sign 2 centre-backs, yeah, to then play 2 centre-mids at centre-back?
It's one of them things, and there's loads of reasons why they haven't started yet. One, they signed at the very end of the window. I don't agree with the timing that they signed, but I also get that the club's got to get the best deal or whatnot. Still bollocks though. Anyway, the reason why I don't think they started, and I wanted to see at least one of them start, is just because they've just joined and he doesn't want to rush them in. Because say for example, Kabak comes into the team or Davies comes into the team and they do shit. Like, it doesn't set them up nicely going forward, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe that's what the way they've looked at it.
Yeah, but it depends on how you manage the game. If I was the manager, I would have brought in the centre back, the Kabak guy, yeah. Or even the fucking geezer that was in the championship. I'm thinking, hold on, you can't be any worse than the kids that have been playing from the youth team. Yeah, you've been playing championship week in, week out, so you're probably more experienced than them with first team football.
Yeah,
I say, mate, you got a free hit today. You're playing centre back. Do your best. Whatever happens, it's not on you, bruv. Yeah. That's it. Go out there and just play your game. No pressure whatsoever. It's Man City. Go out there and just do your best, because their best is going to be better than Henderson's best. Henderson's not a centre-back.
Not a centre-back, yeah. Nah, you're right, lad, you're right. It's one of them things where, even though, and the thing is, Henderson does a good, sound job at centre-back, but it's not going to help the team overall, is what I'm trying to say. Because he hasn't made any...
You'll help them more in midfield.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's where he has his most to offer. He doesn't have much to offer there. He can basically do just a sound job at centre-back. He's not going to do any more. He's kind of like just a James Milner, but at centre-back. He's just going to do what he needs him to do. It's one of them things. It was like James Milner when he covered at left-back. He weren't elite, but he was a sound left-back.
Solid,
we rated him because he weren't usually in that position. That's why we still rate Henderson now. When you put him in midfield, though, we get that ball higher up the pitch just that little bit quicker, which is what was the difference last season. When we were still beating teams only 2-1, 2-0, 1-0. Little results, 90th minute goals. It was because we were just moving the ball that little bit quicker. This season we're not, and off the ball is very different. You saw the levels of the game yesterday. Even though Liverpool took a spell in a moment of that match, you saw who was the clear and by far better team. You knew it was. You could see when we were on the ball, we didn't have a chance. And many teams have made us look like that, but it was like one pass in the midfield and 3 players are on them. And then City can win the ball back, and then they've got their shape. Also, they were moving it across the box quicker. So that's what we're not doing. We're getting in and around the box. Once we've done our counter-attack, we're passing it back. I don't know the strategy. Like, I can come on here and say what I think's wrong. I thought our biggest issue was Henderson playing at centre-back. Yes, they play him higher up the pitch. It affects the whole team.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was the goalkeeper mistakes that ends up leading to the loss. But who's to say we weren't going to end up losing that game anyway with the approaches that he made? He brought on James Milner. He brought on Shaqiri. He brought on Shimikas, which, yes, it was 4-1 down at that point. But come on, man. Like, why are you bringing on Shimikas? What's he going to have to offer in this game?
Yeah, nothing.
So it just doesn't make sense to me in many different aspects. I don't know why he's not starting the new centre-backs. I don't even know if they're good enough. But you mentioned Davies. You're right. He's played in the Championship for all these weeks. And I've actually heard from Preston fans, he's good at playing it out from the back. That's exactly what Liverpool need right now. We miss Van Dijk. He's not going to do Van Dijk levels, Rants. I'm not trying to say that.
But you didn't need a Van Dijk. You just needed someone who was an actual fucking centre-back.
Who can play in the system?
Yeah. That's all you needed, bro. Like, I don't understand. The whole square pegs and round holes thing is, no matter how much experience you have in football as a centre midfielder, that ain't going to make you a good centre-back.
Yeah.
It's not in it. It's not going to make you a better centre-back than a guy that's actually a fucking centre-back. So I don't understand why you would play a centre mid there and then you're talking about, oh yeah, I went with my experienced players. He's not experienced playing there. So he might as well be a novice. He might as well be. Do you know what I'm saying? That's dumb, bro. Play man where they're meant to play. And that's one thing I rated. When we had Louis van Gaal, we had a system. And when we got players injured, we played the players in their fucking position. If we needed a centre-back from the youth team, we got a centre-back from the youth team. We didn't get a centre-mid and play him centre-back. Like, we never done that. Like, we put players in the position they're meant to play. The best way to get the best out of players is to play them in their best position. How are you going to play fucking Henderson at centre-back? You could have done with him in midfield.
Facts, lads. And we were screaming it before the game as well. I said it on the watch-along before kick-off. Just the one thing I massively disagree with. And I'll also call out myself on something that I also said, but ended up getting proven wrong. I said, Curtis Jones shouldn't start this game, and Henderson should be put in midfield, and Davies should be put in the defence. Now, Curtis ends up being our man of the fucking match. You know, out of everyone, he actually looked like the only player who said, you know what, I'm going to take this team by the balls and grab them by myself. Because you know what, mate, before that, no one was doing that. No one was taking the game themselves. Curtis was running back. He was defending brilliantly, which is a side of his game that I haven't saw. And I'm not overrating him. If people who watched the game, you would have saw actually what he was offering for us. He kept us in that game at many moments. And then at the other end of the pitch, he was actually trying to be a little bit creative. He weren't just trying to pass it too much. He weren't trying to be involved in this special, the best goal that you can possibly score as a team. He's trying to go for it. Stop doing too many passes, too many touches in and around the final third. Because now, Rants, it doesn't matter who we start there. It doesn't matter. You know, they're not individuals to the point where they can grab a game by themselves, like a Coutinho.
Yeah.
They need to be able to, you know, have the build-up play there. How do you expect to not have the build-up play when you've got, first off, a defensive midfield like what we have, but not only that, you're playing one of your best build-up players at the back. It just, and you could even see Henderson was trying to push forward at times. And he's thinking, this is the only way we're going to get something out of it. But in the end, you just, I mean, obviously you've got to talk about Alisson as well. You can talk about like the tactics. It was 1-1 until Alisson made them mistakes. And I haven't ruled out that we could have lost that game anyway. But that was Alisson's definitely worst game in his Liverpool career. There's no doubt. I watched the first pass that he gave away for their second goal, and I thought, okay, he's just had a mare there. And then he gave it away again 5 seconds later. And I'm thinking, is your head that gone? Like, is your head that gone right now? And then he done it again. Yeah. And then for the third goal, for the fourth goal, Foden, and mate, we'll talk about Phil Foden because he's just different. But even though that was a good finish, I still thought a confident Alisson should really actually do better with that. He looked just out of his depth. Yeah,
it looked like the shot went through him almost. Like he kind of dived underneath it. Like it was weird.
And I'm not trying to take any credit away from Foden. To get into that position was fantastic. But, you know, you're talking about, you know, at least one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And he just looked, like I said, just completely out of his depth in that moment. And he lost us the game. In hindsight, he lost us that game of football. You can't really say it was directly the team. he never gave the ball away. Now, the team could have gave him better options. Mate, get the ball out. If you see 3 City players and no red shirts, hoof it. It's basics, you know what I mean? But he does play the risky side more often than not. And it's finally caught up with him. It's like it's caught up with him all in one game.
Yeah. But, bruv, it happens. It happens. What do you think of your fullbacks, bro? A lot's been said about them. Obviously, you made the left-back change. I don't know if Thingy got injured or something. I don't know. But Trent had a horrid time against Sterling. Absolutely cooked, bruv. And it's like, where'd you go from there? Because there's rumours saying that your owners, because of COVID, they're not planning to spend very much money in the summer. And I don't think they will. And of course they won't. Judging by the 2 centre-backs that you signed in January, that tells me that you're not going to spend a lot of money in the summer, or else you wouldn't have bought 2 relatively young, inexpensive centre-backs now. If you were gonna buy a decent one in the summer, that tells me you're not buying one in the summer.
Yeah, we're not. This is like a message that I still need to the Liverpool fans who think we're probably going to go and maybe do some amazing run again. Right, the Liverpool team that done that amazing run is not the Liverpool team right now. Not to go on a thing about injuries, but literally there's many players who was involved with that team. However, we've also got some new additions. We've got Thiago. Now, what's one thing we've realised that we're not going to be able to do this season? It's probably put a run of 6 or 7 games together. One, because there's going to be more injuries, which has been a big issue. But not only that, it doesn't look like we're changing this style of play anytime soon. It looks like that right now. So you mentioned the fullbacks. Trent, in my opinion, and you're going to be like, wow, James, like, are you actually on crack? That was actually, besides the 2 or 3 occasions where Sterling actually skipped past them, that was probably one of his better performances. Like, because of how often Man City were targeting that side, it was going to happen at some point. So, what you need to realise there, if he skips past Sterling, that's where Fabinho's got to be the composed leader he has been in recent weeks. No one's talking about Fabinho just because he's been in great form recently. They're all pointing out Trent. So why are you talking about Trent when he weren't even the main problem yesterday? He was a part of it. I'm not talking to you, by the way. I'm talking to many Liverpool fans who was bringing up his name yesterday. Robbo was, in my opinion, Robbo was worse than him yesterday, or just on par. But no one's talking about him. And Robbo's actually been poor over the past few weeks. So why are we just saying, and why do we have this energy for a player who is homegrown? And I know that you'd have more love for homegrown play, but in some aspects you kind of, not should, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if they fall off, if they have a bit of a patch in the road, you support them all the more. It's even Steven Gerrard. Have he had a rough patch, you back him. Standard. Don't say out, go away, you're not good enough. Are you just forgetting to the fact that this kid had his debut 17 days after Jurgen Klopp, literally his first team debut, and he's now the established right back in his team. He's went through 2 Champions League, been in 2 title races, actually won both competitions at the age that he is, and has played at a very good level. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up him, but he's not the only issue right now. So you can talk about it, but he hasn't got the cover, and the system just doesn't suit him. When he's putting balls into the box, who's he putting it to, Rants? Rants, please tell me this, my mate. Like, I know that you can blame Trent for putting the balls in, but it's clear that's what he's being told to do.
Of course.
But if we're not starting Origi, who's our, and I've said this to you before, and I said it to you a long time ago, Origi, who's our only striker at the club, only proper striker, why are you approaching? Because Salah's not going to win it. Mane's not going to win it. Firmino doesn't win headers.
But, bruv, last season when you were winning the league, he was still putting crosses in and you lot were scoring. Now, I think him and Robertson... But him and Robertson had double figures assisted. Both of them had double figures for assists, and you never had an out-and-out striker then. So as much as I think Liverpool crossing the ball into the box is bollocks because you don't have a striker, like, it has worked for you.
It has worked, but that was a different system, a completely different system to now. We pressed more, we attacked more. Okay, I'll tell you what's changed. So we went forward a lot quicker last season. We were an inch higher up the pitch, no matter what. You can say that was because Van Dijk was at the back, but still our build. In fact, even go to 17-18, before Van Dijk, we were higher up the pitch than what we are now. We've just genuinely dropped a feet or two. So when it gets to the build-up play, when it gets to giving it to Trent or Robbo, there's no movement around the front. So you're telling me you've got to exactly pinpoint where Mane's going to be, when actually, when you see a man of his stature, he's got to move to get into that position. So when the front three isn't moving, you're telling me they're expected to get exactly them crosses right. The difference between this season and last season is the fact the players were moving more. The players were a bit more aggressive. There was more fight there. I even watched the interview with Trent. That was recorded, I think like a day before the City game, and he was just saying like it's just got to the point where we knew one day we were going to have this rough patch. We knew one day this sort of thing was going to happen, and obviously he weren't trying to make any mad excuses. But that's just what it seems like. It seems like we're shot. That's what it seems like right now, just shot of all confidence. Even if some of our better players were there, it doesn't look like we'd be too much better off for it. Because it seems to be system at this second. And it also seems, and this is the conclusion, Klopp's shook right now. And you can say rightly or wrongly, but he is. Because the way he's playing, the way he's approaching games. He's not being brave. Off the ball, we're not moving as much. It's just not as demanding is the word that I'm looking for. Is the way I think of it right now for Liverpool. And
it looks like the pace that you're playing at, is definitely has changed, isn't it? Your game's slowed down and it's become more deliberate, the build-up. But with that, your team's definitely lost something. And that's why I said, before you signed Thiago, I was like, bruv, he don't suit the way that Liverpool play. He's not going to press. He's not going to win the ball high up. No, and he's going to slow the game down.
But get on this though, Rants, he's actually been doing that quite a bit recently. And the only reason why he hasn't, and the reason why I massively disagree, he slows the game down. He's got no one to pass it to. What do you mean, man? Before at Bayern Munich, he never slowed the game down. He found the players. Why? Because they were fucking moving. So if you put him in a team like last season's Liverpool, he's balling, man. I'm not saying he's going to go and get the most assists and most goals, but he's going to be an integral part of that midfield. Klopp hasn't just gone and got Thiago for no reason. He's gone and got him because he knows of what he's going to add to this team. We knew straight away. But right now, he's in a team where it's like you expect him to do something by himself, and he's not that type of player. He flourishes in a team that is hungry and that moves well off the ball and also works hard. He looks like the most aggressive player in our team right now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I was saying the same thing about Pogba in our team. Yeah, people were saying, he loses the ball too much or he takes too long on the ball. There ain't people moving in front of him for him to hit. Do you know what I mean? And it's like players that trust their technical ability, if there's nothing on, they'll hold on to it. They're not just going to fucking just smash it up the pitch because they fancy themselves. Pogba fancies himself one-on-one with anyone. So does Thiago. They'll keep hold of the ball. They'll take an extra touch. They'll go past someone. They'll hold on to it, innit? Like the movement. The thing is with Liverpool, when it was going well, he looked amazing, innit? And now things aren't going well. People are picking holes in it. But it's one of them things where when I look at it, like you even saying, you don't have players like Coutinho, that can just win the game for you by themselves. And that's why I said Klopp's system, was making a lot of players look better than they are, bro. And people thought they thought I was insulting the Liverpool players. I wasn't. But I was just saying, when I look at these players, when I look at Mane, when I look at Salah, these men, to me, they don't have that Coutinho clutch gene, that like, right, nothing's happening. I'm going to cut inside from 30 and bend it in the top corner. Like, they don't have that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the system allows them to get into positions where they can isolate players one-on-one and use their pace to get in behind, bro. Like, even the penalty that Salah won, that's probably the position that Salah gets into the most in the game. Down that right channel, through ball, running through onto goal. That's what he likes. If he doesn't get into those positions in a game, you just don't see him, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not going to cut inside from 30 yards and slap one in the top corner, bro. Maybe he will once every 100 games. Whereas Coutinho was doing that for you fucking every other game. At least step inside top corner.
I've not seen someone like, at least for Liverpool, someone like Coutinho and Gerrard, but, with that sort of that,
Same with Gerrard as well.
So, but besides them two, really, there hasn't been someone who takes the game by the balls like that. They were two very unique players. So to even expect that isn't the point. But even Mane, when he first joined in 16-17, in a much worse team than what he's in now, but he's looking worse. And it is system. The system always makes a player look better in many aspects. The system, obviously, like, when you look at it as a whole, that whenever a player, so Bayern Munich right now, Lewandowski is going to be much better than a Bayern Munich team because he's got world-class players around. He'll still do well elsewhere, but it's like Salah. He looked very good at Roma, but now he looks another level at Liverpool because of system. He's always been a sound footballer. Same with Mane. At Southampton, he was top class there, and then he came to Liverpool and he's done the same. But it's just this season. It's right now, for Firmino, he's a different player. So you're talking about the same type of players, but Mane and Salah, they're off a bad run of form. I'm not saying, like, get rid of them. But when they're not fully there, when they're not fully conscious of actually what's going on within that game and the movements isn't quite right, and it's just a patch. There's not like what you said and what I've said. There's not one thing you can nail everything on. You can talk about the centre-backs that they came in too late. That's true. You can talk about the fact we should have got another one, an actual fourth choice centre-back in the summer. That's also true. You can talk about change the formation, change to whatever, get Henderson further up the pitch. That's what I think. But it doesn't mean I'm definitely right. Because right now it's just one of them sticky patches. We could move Henderson back in midfield and it doesn't change nothing. That's just the way I think. And you've got to keep chopping and changing because the saying is, fix what's not broken, except everything's broken right now. Do you get what I mean? So keep chopping and changing, just see what works, and hopefully we can just find another run of form. But as for Liverpool and my expectations, top 4 is maximum, not minimum, maximum. And, we'd be very ambitious to even hope for the Champions League run because you need to score goals to win over 2 legs, and we're not doing that. So off run of form, I think I'm just waiting for next season, man. So that's what I'm doing.
It's a madness, honestly, because bro, the way you're playing, finishing in the top 4, hey, Chelsea are 1 point behind you guys.
Oh, Rants, right. People keep mentioning like Arsenal, Chelsea. They're better than us right now. Do you know if we play Chelsea tomorrow, they're better than us. If we play Arsenal tomorrow, they're probably going to be better than us. We are form. No one mistake what I'm trying to say. Form. We're worse than Brighton and Burnley, who, by the way, are relegation teams. So let's stop talking about right now these teams are better. Everyone's pretty much better than Sheffield. I swear, are better than us right now on form. When you're talking about the probably last 6 games, we've been shit since December. So you're telling me, right, and because it's only just now that it's sunk in, and how long have I been saying to you, really, we're out of the title race? Good month or so. I've been comfortable on that side. When we beat Tottenham and West Ham, I thought maybe, but I still thought the City gap was way too much. And then you just realise, no, we would have needed to win pretty much every game from then till the end of the season, and that's just not going to happen, especially with this team. So.
No, 100%, bro. You're keeping it real, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? When I do that, man say, oh, you're being negative and that, bro. Even when I look at this United team, bro, I wouldn't want to play Chelsea tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chelsea have got 3 wins in the last 4. They got 1 draw and 3 wins in the last 4 games. They dispatched of Tottenham comfortably. Do you know what I mean? And the way we're playing
they're
right
dominating
now,
games as well.
They're dominating games, bro. 60-70% of the ball. I wouldn't want to flip and play Chelsea tomorrow. They'll beat us.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to play them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm genuinely looking at them and I'm thinking, like, I have to take them seriously now.
You've got to. And it's like that with any team, because any team can just have that explosive run of form. Everton have done it on more than 2 or 3
You just need to put like 4 or 5 wins together,
and then you're there.
And you're there, bro.
You're there. Leicester, still 3rd. Yeah, get on this. So, like, we're us Liverpool fans, right? We're actually thinking, like, some of us think that we're comfortably in this top 4. It's like Leicester are 3 points ahead of us on the same games. Chelsea, 1 point below us on the same games. West Ham, who we've just beat, is 1 point below us on the same games. Everton, 2 games in hand over us. Our little cousins, 2 games in hand over us. And they're 3 points behind. So they can go 3 points above us. You're talking Tottenham, who've been in shit. You're talking Tottenham, who've been in shit form recently. They've got a game in hand, and they're currently 4 points behind us. So if they win that, they're 3 points behind. Come on, mate. Like, our form's been devastating since December. You should have saw this coming. And even if we did have a good little, run of going back up, like the Tottenham and West Ham game, it weren't going to be maintained.
I didn't realise it was the league was that close.
Rants, it's written off, bro. It's written off, man. Like, let's stop talking. Like, we're lucky to get Europa League with that. If we're talking form,
Europa League. There's about 8 teams right now that can finish in the top 4 on form.
Even Aston Villa, 2 games in hand.
Everyone's overlooking Leicester, but they don't seem to be going away.
No, Leicester. Why do people write off Leicester? It's the number 1 mystery I'm finding this season because. When you actually think about that team, they've got some very good individual players. You can't doubt it. James Maddison, different. NDD, different in his position. Soyuncu, when he's fit. They've got a very solid... Tielemans, Schmeichel, very consistent goalkeeper. Yeah. You can't really complain about the squad they've got. And may I mention, they've got a very good manager, who, by the way, plays exciting football. And they've still got a goal scorer. So when you put all that together... They really kind of should be a bit more respected. I'm not saying make them the favourites. I don't think no one is catching up to City, but they have definitely got chances of finishing either 2nd or 3rd. Why can't they?
Yeah, facts.
There's no reason. They could even finish above you. There's literally no reason why they can't. I'm not saying they will, but it's a possibility. They're being disrespected. Even like an article that Lee Chappie posted on his page the other day or the other week. And it was like Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, this, that, all in for the title race or something. Do you know, like when it was a little bit more closer?
Yeah.
And Leicester weren't even in that. Aston Villa was in that. Everton was in that. But Leicester weren't in that. And they were above them.
You can't be having Aston Villa in the convo and not Leicester. That's a piss take.
It makes no sense.
Like Leicester won the league the other day.
And they've been above them all season.
Yeah.
So that makes no sense to me why they're getting disrespected. Brendan Rodgers is a very disrespected manager, you know, Rants.
Yeah, he is.
Honestly, mate, I even spoke to Rory a few weeks ago and he was speaking about him like he was some bin man on the side.
No, but you know what it is with Brendan Rodgers, yeah? Because he took the Liverpool job too early and he didn't even do badly. But because he took it too early, exactly. But because he took it too early, a lot of people are looking at him with this notion that, he flopped at Liverpool.
Yeah,
but he didn't flop at Liverpool. It was just too early for him, and he still finished second for fuck's sake.
And he overtook Kenny Dalglish, who overtook Roy Hodgson, one of the worst periods we've had in Premier League history. You shouldn't have expected him to go on and win leagues after leagues or Champions Leagues after Champions Leagues with us when he couldn't even buy his own players. He was supposed to just really be the coach. So what are you expecting him to do? At least now he's got a bit more freedom. He's got a bit more respect in terms of what he's achieved. He went to Celtic. He's done what he had to do. He's gone to Leicester. He's doing more than what he has to do. He weren't supposed to make Leicester a top four side. Obviously, the owners have said try and do it, but he weren't supposed to do it. The top four should be the big six. We spend the most money. We've got the most attraction. Leicester shouldn't be in there, but they're there every season. They were there last year. Even though they didn't end up finishing there, they were there and thereabouts. They're now becoming a top six club, not in terms of, being well known, but in terms of actually consistently finishing inside that top six. It's about time we do talk about Leicester as a bigger club. It's facts.
Facts. Chat there for you. Would you have kept Dejan Lovren?
Yes, I've said it millions of times. Like now, if we brought in Kabak and, Davies, I would have said sell Lovren. I weren't that much of an advocate for him. But you have got to have more than 3 senior centre-backs going into a Premier League season, in my opinion. Especially when you know Matip is a stick and Joe Gomez has history of getting longer-term injuries. So the only one who doesn't have anything to do with really past injuries, besides one big one, is Van Dijk. He had one big one, I think, at Celtic, but other than that, or it might have been Southampton, but other than that, he's been okay. But you still know that can possibly happen. So you've got 2 injury-prone centre-backs and Van Dijk. And you're saying to me, you're feeling okay. Now, some people will throw the argument, oh, well, you've got Fabinho. Shut up. And this is where I agree with you, Rants. Stop moving such a world-class player out of his own position when he does so much there. He can do a job there. But so can any other.
Playing Fabinho at centre-back does not improve Liverpool.
It doesn't. It's just because he's doing really well there for what he's supposed to be doing.
It doesn't make sense, though, bro. You're better off playing a 6 out of 10 centre-back and having Fabinho playing in midfield where he can give you a 9 out of 10. Instead of playing him centre-back where he can give you an 8. But then the guy in midfield's giving you a fucking 7 or a 6, bro. You're better off having him in midfield.
Yeah, do you know what, Rance? I don't want to make this the show where we're agreeing each other, but you're speaking facts, lads. It's one of them things where if you actually realise, like, Liverpool fans right now, I want to present the question to you. And do you know what? Even as a football fan, let me ask you, Rance, what would you rather watch? Your team, because let's be honest, since December, as I mentioned, we've been shit and we haven't been getting results. It's not like we're playing shift football and getting wins. We're playing shift football and we're not getting wins. So why not change it up to where, you might be a little bit more susceptible at conceding, but you're actually going to have a chance of scoring more. You want to be more of an exciting team. Fix what's not broken, but everything's broken right now. So just give it a go. Start pushing forward. Give us a reason to be on the edge of our seat. And I'm not just saying that because now when I do a watch-along, it's 90 minutes of absolutely just fucking snooze fest. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying it because you do need to take a different approach. And I'd rather watch these players just go for it. Because then I'm actually seeing something. I don't want to just watch this safe football that isn't even working now. So, with the centre-back thing, though, I would have said Lovren go now. But at the time, you keep him, man, because you need that depth. You have to have it.
100%. And, man wanted to touch on, you saw what happened with Mike Dean as well, bro. That's been all over the news today. And he's pulled out of refereeing on the weekend and stuff like that. And I don't know, bro. Like, I'm torn in it, bro. Nobody deserves to be getting death threats, no matter what you do, who you are, whatever.
I think we're gonna say the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of them ones where, like, even with the footballers that get racially abused and stuff like that, them guys aren't coming out and saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm not playing this week." Maybe they should.
Yeah.
But they're not in it. Do you know what I mean? So obviously Mike Dean's pulled out, but it's a mad one because it's like at the same time, I'm like, bruv, them man are like, oh, they sent it to his family address. And it's like, bruv, I was thinking, right, it took them that long to get his address, blood. Because Mike Dean's been doing some bullshit for time. And I'm like, bruv,
facts. I think now because it's like
he don't deserve the death threats or nothing like that. But bro, me and Akeem were talking about, yo, there should be like a Premier League table for referees, bro. Do you know what I mean? So Premier League's the referees' performances should be measured depending on the cards they've given, how many good decisions they've made, bad decisions, and there should be a table. And at the end of the season, man should be getting relegated because too many times referees are doing bullshit. Yeah,
that's a great idea.
They're doing bullshit, bro.
Who said that?
Now, me and Akeem said, yo, they should have like a table, bro, of referees, bro. If you make a wrong decision and you give a pen that's not a pen, you should get a minus something. And there should be a leaderboard. And at the end of the season, you should get referee of the season or whatever, just like you get manager of the season, referee of the month, just like you get manager of the month. And then, if you're in the bottom three or whatever, you should get fucking sent to the championship.
That's Elon Musk type thinking shit there, Rants. Is right, fella, you've sorted the system. I agree.
That's what you need to do. Because, bro, Mike Dean has fucked so many people, bro, with no repercussions. People are tired, bro.
Right, this is my thoughts on it. So, as for the racial stuff, I that's just a very awkward situation because when you actually think about it, so for the Twanzebe example, he came on the pitch, he done a mistake, but footballers will always make mistakes and they should never be, other than, constructively criticised for their performance. It shouldn't go beyond that. Whereas referees, I think, I agree with you, Mike Dean shouldn't be getting death threats, nor should anyone. In my opinion, I don't think anyone deserves to receive any death threats or whatnot. That being said, when you talk about the refereeing as a whole, they don't do a lot to help him. So you're in a day and age to where social media, everyone's got it. Everyone's got access to it. They can say their opinions. Anyone can vocalise their thoughts. So then you're putting Mike Dean on the pitch. Once he makes a decision, you know that it's like he's got to have a bit of assistance. That's what VAR's there for. It's in the title. So you're not telling him the exact correct decision. Even if he's made it wrong, you're not saving his ass by saying that. Honestly, like that's not a red card. And it's not. Common sense says it's not a red card. If you've got the perfect view, and I've saw that VAR fucking room, it's got cameras left, right. If you've got all them angles, you're telling me you haven't noticed yourself it's a red card. The one who should be getting no one should be getting death threats. Let me rephrase. The one who should be getting the stick is the person in the room. It's not the actual referee himself, because now there's another side to it. So years ago when Mike Dean was refereeing, he would be held accountable because he was the only one really in charge of that decision. Now there's ways that we can actually help these refs being saved and whatnot, even though it's actually making their job slightly easier or supposed to. They're still making countless mistakes. So we need to get more educated fucks in the room where they're actually making them vital decisions. Otherwise, 100%, it's just going to be the same story.
My man has said both of his red cards over the past week have been overturned. If that is not worthy of you getting relegated from the Premier League, bro, for at least a month.
Overturn it straight away.
How are they overturning 2 fucking reds? That means you fucked up twice, bro. And when you give a red card to a team, you significantly hamper their ability to win the game or the chances of them winning a game, bro. Imagine if a team gets relegated because you fucking sent someone off that you shouldn't have sent off and they lose the game 1-0 and they needed a draw to stay up. Then what?
No, but that's happened. That's default. Like, there's stuff like
that. Of course this happened, bro.
Referees have fucked over teams for time, but it's one of these things now. They can be protective, Rants. So Mike Dean, he's been shit for time. He's made many of these shite decisions. That being said, even though a lot of his decisions have been questionable and you need to call him out on them and whatnot, he can now actually be protected. So them red cards that got overturned, just overturn them straight away. Just say, oh, Mike, you've made the decision there, call the player back and, just be like, you're sweet lad, don't you worry about it. Other than that, you're just setting it up for the referee then to get all the abuse. It's like you're creating a face of who can take the stick. Because it shouldn't be us as a whole. It should be the one who's made the decision. But you can do something about it. They're doing it to him. You know you're in a world where people are going to be angry. And you can actually say it in public.
Yeah.
So, it's mad. It's mad, lads. I blame FA. I blame the ones who make the rules. I blame the ones who don't give the referees the help that they actually deserve, mate, because they can actually get it now.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. And when you look at Mike Dean, genuinely, he loves the attention, bro. Like, there's certain managers that have been sent off just for trying to talk to the referee. These men think they're bigger than what they are, bro. You're there to make sure that the game is played in a safe, fair manner, bro. That's all you're there. That's all you're there for. You're an accessory, bro.
Was he the one who sent off Arsene Wenger?
I don't know. It might have been. What was that, for kicking the bottle, you mean, when he was up in the stands? Yeah. It might have been. Do you know what I mean?
Wrong, but
and that's what I mean. And then also, bro, like, you see the red card at West Ham, bro. He went to the VA, bruv. Literally, all the guy done was this. Almost looked like he was trying to lift his arm over his head. Like, that's what it looked like. It was mad. It wasn't an elbow. Like, he kind of just was like, bruv, there was nothing in it, yeah? My man's gone down like he's been fucking taking a baseball bat to, yeah? The geezer goes and he watches it 4 or 5 times and decides that that's a red card, bro. Like, how? Like, how, bro? It wasn't even that, you know? It wasn't even that. You like, it almost looked like, bro, like, what was it?
He never touched them. It literally was like he was stretching almost, or he was like trying to move. It weren't like an offence. Like, if I saw that in the street, I'd just be like, oh, he's trying to move past them or something. It's not an offence. You know what I mean?
Bro, like, I don't get it, innit?
But I think, but you're right. When he goes to the screen, it's common knowledge to know, like, that's not a red card. He should make that decision himself. But this is where you've just got to say, right, maybe get a few opinions on it, because in the UFC, for example, you've got 3 judges and they come to a unanimous decision of who wins the fight. It's like, you can make this easy, dead quick, get 2 or 3 people in the back. All 3 of them can make a unanimous decision on what they think, and then they can advise the referee on what they feel is best. And I know that's kind of like what they're doing now, but get people who actually know what they're talking about, because I have saw so many decisions go to the back room and they haven't changed it. And you're thinking, wait, you've got mega replays of this and you're not making any changes right now.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. The officiating as a whole can just go and suck itself.
It's horrible
because it makes no sense, and
it doesn't need it. It doesn't lend itself to consistency, bro. Like, the whole bringing in VAR thing was meant to make the game more balanced, more fair. But bro, like, we're seeing the same old bullshit. I saw a penalty that Arsenal didn't get the other day where the goalkeeper pulled Lacazette down, and I thought, bruv, how is that not a pen, bro? Like, I don't know if it went to VAR or not, but the geezer had 2 arms around him, like, in the box. Like, how the fuck? If they didn't check it, that's fucked. And if they checked it and didn't give it, that's still fucked, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, referees should be made to explain every big decision that's made in a game, whether they've overturned a decision, do you know what I'm saying? Or whether they've seen something and not given something. Bro, they need to explain why you've gone over to the monitor and you've made the decision you've made. You know what I'm saying? Too many times they do things and it's not accounted for. There's no accountability from these referees, none whatsoever. And that's why they can do bullshit, bro. That's why people have had enough. That's why people have had enough.
Listen, Rants, people can say what they want. Like, VAR itself is good for the game and whatnot, but let's be honest, based on what it's done, and that's the one thing I'm a big advocate on. You can talk about what it can do. It's about what they actually do. What VAR has done, it's ruined the game. So far to this point, it's made it worse. It's made it worse. It's made it more eye scratching for fans when you're there watching a game and you just want to see a nice flowing match, just both teams going at it, hammer and tongue, maybe a little fight here and there, but once a decision's made, it's made and you move on. Yeah. Now it's like you're waiting for 2 minutes. There's that controversy. There's last minute goals being disallowed that are just like that. And I get, let's go back to the original reason of rules like handball, offside. Offside was given so that the striker couldn't, stand at the other end and just stay there. Do you know what I mean? It was given so it could be a more fair aspect, more skill and talent being used instead of just goal hanging. That being said, that worked. Still give the striker the advantage. If he's just slightly, then, that's fair enough. The handball rule, if it's a deliberate handball, if he's deliberately tried defending by using his hand, then yes, but if it's so close and it's just going there, you don't give it. So now, that's where the inconsistencies, as you mentioned, is coming in. And then that's why fans aren't gravitating towards it. How can you gravitate towards something where 1 minute it's saying yes and then the next it's saying no?
Bruv, the whole thing's bullshit. Like, even this brother said, in my opinion, VAR never made it worse. It's the people that use it. I use this analogy once and I use it a million fucking times, bro. 100%. In America, they're saying guns don't kill people, people kill people. But if people don't have guns, they can't shoot people.
Yeah. 100%.
That's it. Do you know what I'm saying? Fuck VAR. Because if you don't have it, then you can't use it bad.
Yep.
You know them ones. You can't use it. If everyone says, yo, we're going to leave it down to human fucking error or whatever, then cool. Because then we can just hold each individual referee accountable. That's it. But when you've got the fucking machine, it's slowing down the game. It means that we can't celebrate goals no more. There's so many different things that is fucked up, bro. It's not just the decisions. It's the fact that every goal gets checked. So now we can't celebrate goals no more. So it's ruining that. It's even worse when you're at the stadium, bro. Old Trafford ain't got no screens, blood. So every time a goal goes in,
feels the same.
You can't celebrate because you're just waiting and you're sitting around listening and you're waiting to hear someone cheer, bro, because you don't know what's going on, bro.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, too many times, it just kills the whole atmosphere of the game, blood. Like, it's not worth the fucking hassle,
game,
bro.
It's not just sometimes, it's every game, VAR. Like, don't get me wrong, even though it's gave us some crazy moment, like, for example, Sterling against Tottenham, even though that's like a funny moment to look back on, mate, if that's your team, that's horrible, man. Like, that's a horrible thing to go through. And you can say it's the right decision or wrong decision, but collectively, we're not liking it more so. It's not adding value. Is the way you've got to look at it. It's ruining the game in terms of when you're watching a match, you don't want to see it slow down, man. It's the last thing you want. You want to just see what the old-fashioned, like you said, human. I think the table is the way you fix this bullshit. I do. I think that's a great idea. When you were explaining that, I was like, I'm surprised they haven't done this already. But it's because they won't want to put direct spotlight on these referees. They don't mind telling the name before the match. But once the match is over, no one's going to bother to type in, you know what I mean? If there's what you said, a table of how many mistakes, how many corrections that we've made, relegate them and, promote them, make them earn their wages, because if they're making careless decisions that defines careers, livelihoods, if a club goes down, that means staff gets lost. And if that's due to a referee mistake, then that's got to be on your hands. And I get that comes with abuse, and I don't advocate the abuse. I don't agree with the abuse in any way, shape, or form. Then people sending the abuse are absolute wet wipes. That being said, you have got to be held accountable if you are going to be in such a position. So it's just about helping them more, and they're not like what you said with the comparison you made before. VAR, you can say it's the actual thing itself, but we've known the issues for it for time now as well. That's one thing I don't think people are talking about. We would have had this conversation, not me and you directly, but us as football fans, we would have had this conversation about VAR last year, probably in a similar manner, talking about handball, talking about offside, talking about mistakes. What the fuck's changed? So now we're going to have this conversation again. Go into a year's time, VAR still there. Bet you we still have many fucking issues with it, not just a few. We'll have loads, and then that's where you've just got to realise, where do you put the straw in this and just go back to how it was or make adjustments? They're not even doing that. The rules are changing every 2 seconds to the point where you don't even understand the game no more. Fair. What's a handball? What's an exact offside? You don't know.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a...
Nobody knows, bruv. Nobody knows the rules, bruv. The people in the studio don't know the rules.
Oh, see that, by the way? Did you see that?
I saw. I saw.
The
the people in the studio don't know the rules. The people in the stands don't know the rules. The people at home watching on TV don't know the fucking rules, bro. So this is the problem. Nobody knows the fucking rules, bro.
So we're just headless chickens, basically, is what we've just came to the conclusion.
Yeah.
We're playing with no rules. No, it's true.
That's it, bro. And because of that, like, it's absolute bullshit, bro. And before man wrap up, man have to talk about this Phil Foden kid, bro. Because like you were saying, like, how fucking good, how fucking good is this guy, bro?
This kid, he will be their best player in the next 2 or 3 seasons. And I know, De Bruyne will probably still be there. There'll probably be other world-class players there. But when you watch him play, don't take the piss out of me. His precision, his intelligence on the ball
That's what it is, bro. It's the brain, it's the intelligence, yeah.
Like, don't be trying to talk to me like this isn't gonna be some. The only thing that's stopping this kid is injuries. That's it. And I said when he was starting yesterday, think of all the names that are in that City team and more established names like Sterling and the one player who I brought up before the match even kicked off was Phil Foden. You can see it every time he plays, bro. He's got I saw this on before we started. 17 goal contributions in 12 games against the top 6.
Some jokes.
So he's a big player. So he's a big game player as well. So not only are you telling me he's a young prospect, a young English prospect who's just coming through and doing well. He's doing well in big games at such a young age. That's unheard of, brother. Like, it's not unheard of. There's players who've done that, but then numbers are insane for the teams that he's doing it against. He's a massive part for their team already. So I don't even think that's a ridiculous statement. I think he'll be the best player in that team. It's a very possible thing.
Yeah, no, he'll be up there, innit? Like, he's a top quality player. Do you know what I'm saying? He's come through the academy and, bruv, like, he's the kind of player that in the future you could see as the club captain, bro, because he's got all the ingredients, bro. He's got all the ingredients, man. He's going to have the longevity on his side. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got the talent. You know what I'm saying? He's just got everything, bro.
He's got the experience at a young age as well with and one of the best managers in world football and one of the best managers of all time. That's valuable no matter where you go, in my opinion. So I think, yeah, man, when I watch Phil Foden now, I think, yeah, you're just showing us literally half of what's about to come. And it's like, when that does, we're all going... Many people soon are going to realise, like, wow, Phil Foden, you just don't play about with him. And I think you're right. He'll be the main man in that team because, one, he's homegrown. Two, you can see when he's on the pitch, he's actually just a student of the game. He's even though he knows he's very, very good, and he's probably better than most players he's playing with, he's just being a student of the game. He knows the situation he's in, and he'll just take it how it is. Even the goal that he scored against us, the finish still had a lot of power. If that was if that was an Adrian in goal or someone, if that goes in, I wouldn't expect Adrian to save it if it's the exact same shot. But the way he cut inside to get into that position was...
Yeah, it's just, brother, his touch is great.
He made Robbo look like a shit defender, and that is not what Robbo is.
He's got a great touch, but also like the body feint to get that half a yard and everything about him, bro. He's just so fluid on the ball, and it's his intelligence. What makes Foden as good as he is? Yeah, cool, he's got technical ability, but it's just his football brain. He knows what to do, when to do with it. Like, he plays with his head up. He always sees a picture. He never takes too many touches. He knows when to dribble, when to pass, when to shoot. And that's something that usually comes with more experienced, older players, bro. Because there's a lot of players like the Rashfords and that, like, they show little glimpses of doing little tricks and scoring decent goals. And you think, and then for the next match or 2 matches or 3 matches, they're absolutely dog shit. Like, he has a certain level of consistent quality every time I see him play, that even if he doesn't have like a game where he's fucking blown your socks off, like, he always gives you a certain level of quality on and off the ball every time you see him, bro. And that's because he's mad intelligent. He's a
hard worker off the ball. I even saw it against us. He never had an outstanding overall game. But when he was off the ball, he was making it hard for our centre-backs to actually move it across the back line and do it, fluidly. He was there. He was making sure that if you're going to make that pass, you better make sure that it's a fucking good one. Otherwise, I'm going to intercept and we're going to be on the attack. So it's a very exciting player to have in your possession when you've got a Phil Foden, and he looks made up to be there. So it's one of them things, mate. He's going to be at that level soon. Like that's I said, I think he can easily be, and easily is a mad adjective when you're talking about a Man City team, but I think he can easily be the best player in that team in the next 2 or 3 seasons with the ability that kid's got.
Yeah, facts, bro, and that's why they call him the Stockport Iniesta, bro. And you never know, bro. Like, he could go on to have a great career. He's definitely going to win a lot because he's at Man City anyway. And they're going to, as long as they're spending money, he's going to win trophies, innit? And it's just one of them ones where, bruv, like, literally the world's his oyster, innit? He's at a club, luckily, that are going to compete for titles, are going to win titles, are going to win trophies, bro. And he could be like your next Steven Gerrard, your next Wayne Rooney in terms of stay at a club for fucking 10, 15 years, win a lot. You know them ones, because, like, bruv, why would you leave Man City right now if you're a homegrown City player, you're playing games, you're going to be well played and you're winning trophies? There's no reason for him to leave. Where would he go?
Why would anyone leave Man City right now? Like someone said last season when we won the league, I bet Sterling wish he could come back to Liverpool now. I said, why though? I said, why? Because they're going to become really good again. And even though Liverpool have won a Champions League, for example, Sterling still knows he's got the time to do that because City are going to come back in some aspect. So the only thing you've just said there is the homegrown part. That's what Sterling isn't. Other than that, though, he's probably a legend at Man City already. So if that's a legend, imagine the way we're going to look at Phil Foden, who's an actual homegrown player, and will, in my opinion, most certainly go on to be a better player than Sterling. And Sterling's a fantastic player, but I'm just talking about what I'm seeing right now. And it looks like he can eclipse that by far. And he looks like he can do that to most players in that squad. It's not just a thing on Sterling. Sterling's done great. But you mentioned the trophies, you mentioned all this, that. Sterling looks much better because the team he's in. Still a great player, but Foden will be an integral part of that team. That's the difference.
And I think that when you look at the talent that Phil Foden's got, bro, I just think he's just special, bro. Like I think he's on another level, bro. Like his technical ability is definitely higher than Sterling's, bro. Sterling's got the experience, he's got the pace and that, but what Phil Foden can do with a football at his feet is frightening, bro. It's actually frightening, bro. In terms of just talent, like, bro, he's gonna be probably in the next, like, what, 3 to 5 years, he'll probably be England's best player, bro. I think after Harry Kane, because for me, Harry Kane's peaked, innit? He ain't gonna get no better. The injuries are gonna take his toll on him. Like, we've seen the best Harry Kane that we're ever gonna see, innit?
Yeah.
Like, away from Harry Kane, I'm looking at Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, and Phil Foden, bro. And Jack Grealish as well is what, 25, 26 or something like that, bro. In his age range, Phil Foden is the best. Clear. Under 23, he's England's best player. He's England's best player. For me, Grealish is England's best player. But under 23, I think Phil Foden's England's best player, like comfortably. Him and Jadon. I think him and Jadon are like clear of everyone else.
I'm not even saying this because I'm a Liverpool fan, but not off this season, but you have got to put Trent in there as well.
I don't know.
You do?
I don't know. I can't put Trent in there.
Because he's an under 23. If you're talking about the best younger players in the squad, you have got to put Trent in that conversation. With what he's achieved compared to
can't know what he's achieved, but I don't think he would achieve that, if he never had the best manager in the world. I don't, innit? As a footballer, I don't. Well, okay. As a defender, I don't rate Trent. As a footballer, I think Trent's just good at what he's good at, innit? But his all-round game ain't that great.
I'm not saying that this is supposed to sway your mind completely one way. The reason why I think he's underrated as a defender, even this season, if you think about it, he's still got the highest percentage tackle rate of any successful tackle rate of any right back in the league this season. So it's like, I'm not trying to say that should be the only thing but if he's having a bad season and he's still got the most the most assists of any right back and the highest percentage of tackle rate of any right back, and this is his worst season, I mean, I just feel like it's just being overlooked. And even Liverpool fans do it, mate. Like, I just feel like, when you're talking about some of the better young players for England, Trent is in that conversation. There's no doubt about it. Even with what we're talking about and the criteria we're given to the other players, and I agree with Jadon Sancho, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish right now is, I agree, best player for England.
But with Trent, if he's putting in 50 crosses a game, he's bound to get assists, bro. That's my thing, though. Do you know what I mean?
Bound to get assists, but you've also saw the ability of what he has on crosses and on free kicks. Not many people can cross the ball like Trent.
No, bro, listen. On the ball, he's one of the best players on the ball. But defending, 90% of defending's off the ball, James.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying I think you overlook him slightly defensively.
Yeah, because I think off the ball he's not good. I don't think his positioning's good. I think that he's a good enough athlete that he can get himself out of certain problems, but I don't think his reading of the game defensively, positionally is very good. And one-on-one, he's not a good defender one-on-one. But one thing I do know is if he's got the right protection, he can hurt people. Do you know what I mean? Going that way. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if I was a winger, I would love to play against a right back like him. I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, I'd rather play against a right back that enjoys attacking more than enjoys defending. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying he's definitely better at attacking as what he is defending. But even over the past few seasons, I wouldn't say he's been one of the worst defenders. He's not been one of the best defenders. He's been an okay defender, but his attacking play is what makes him, one of a world-class right-back in my eyes. That's the reason why I see Trent in that way. Because when I see him play, mate, and when I see how important he is to our team, even now in shit form, you do realise it's other players that is actually the problem, because he's actually putting in good crosses from time to time. There's just no one getting on the ends of them. And you talk about criteria. When you talk about Jadon Sancho and Phil Foden, there's going to be aspects of their game that isn't completely perfect now as well. But in years
there is absolutely.
It's like that with Trent. He's just very good. He's okay at defending. He's a very, very good attacker. But he's not the finished article or by any means. But based on what he's achieved and actually the part he's had to play in that's the only reason why I throw him in there.
No, bro, listen. I think in terms of what he's won, he has to be in the conversation if you're looking at what he's achieved at that age. But when I'm looking at just pure ability and talent, I think that as a defender, the off the ball stuff's more important than on the ball, because you spend less time on the ball. And
not in our system necessarily.
In your system, you get a lot of touches, but that's what I mean. I think that your system makes him. I think he's well suited to your system because of how you play. But I couldn't put him in any team and expect him to have a decent output as a right back, because I've seen him cooked by too many wingers. And that's the thing. And I think that as a fullback, your individual battles, bro, that's what makes and breaks you, bro. Like your individual duels. How many times does the winger get down the outside and get a crossing? Back in the day, before we had stats, how we judge fullbacks was that did the winger get past them down the byline and get the cross off. And there's too many times I see people get past him. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. Like, without looking at stats, when I just watch him, he don't look like that player that no one's getting past, bro. You always look like you can get change out of him. And that's the only thing, bro. Like, more like when I watch Reece James, I'd much rather play against Trent than play against Reece James, because Reece James is quicker, he's stronger. Do you know what I'm saying? And he looks like he enjoys defending a bit more. And that's the only thing. So don't get me wrong, Trent's mad talented. You can't put free kicks in the top corner in the Premier League if you're not talented, innit?
Nah,
definitely. But I don't think he's a defender, innit? I just think he can play.
The thing is, I can't sit here and be like, well, you can't say he's not a defender, because you can, because that has been the one aspect of his game that's not reached the levels of what it really should for that level. I agree. But if you're just asking me, I think that aspect's just slightly overlooked. That's all it is. But one of them things, it's like, we've still got an exciting look with England overall, regardless however way you look at it. When you talk about Grealish right now is probably entering or has just entered his prime. You're talking about Phil Foden, who's not even close to there. You're talking about Jadon Sancho, who's probably going to reach there in a couple of seasons. Trent or Reece James, have your pick. Left backs, we've got players there where we could make a really exciting team with this. And it's just about how we use it. That's why we need to get a good manager. I can't believe I'm saying we for England. I haven't done that for a long time.
You know what it is? You see, when people talk about primes, there's no such thing as a specific time when people hit their prime, bro. Like, notoriously, attacking players reach their prime a lot younger, innit? You look at Michael Owen, was in his prime at 18, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Rooney was in his prime at like 20, bro. Like, there's no... not everyone hits their prime at 27. So, look, Lionel Messi was in his fucking prime, at 19, blood. And his prime lasted like 12 years. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's a prime, bro? Like, you can only really judge a player's prime when they retire.
Yeah, I get what you... Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You can only judge someone's prime when...
Yeah, you're right. I'm predicting his prime. That's my thoughts on what his prime will be. I feel like Jack Grealish's prime is now or starting now. It's like with fighters as well.
I think he's starting now because he's still improving. Do you know what I mean? But some players don't improve. They just don't get any worse. They just stay at that same level for years and years and years. Do you know what I'm saying? And they just refine.
Yeah, I agree. It's like with fighters. So as you get older, there'll be a point where, say, when you're 28, 29, your body will be in peak condition and you will know the most about the game that you've ever known before. When you get to about 35, a bit later on, your body, you might be able to think of everything that you want to do, but your body isn't quite reaching up with it. So you can never quite predict when the prime is going to be there or not. You're right. And primes can come at very different times. It's also like so your thoughts on Trent is he's looking much better because he's with Jurgen Klopp. So if he goes somewhere else, it's not going to look as good. Then
if he goes somewhere else where he has to defend a lot more, because Liverpool monopolize possession. So when you monopolize possession, you don't have to defend that much, bro. It's just basic maths, isn't it?
Yeah.
if you play for a team like, say, Crystal Palace, where Wan-Bissaka was used to having 35-40% possession of his team, he spent more time defending than attacking, and that's why his attacking's not great. Now he has to improve his attacking. Same if you put Trent as right back at Palace, where he has to defend like consistently for a game, I reckon he gets toasted, bro. And that's not his fault necessarily. It just means that he suits the system that this manager's playing. Do you know what I'm saying? So when man talk about primes and all these other things, I don't think Trent's going to turn into a great defender, because he's not a defender and he'll never be a defender. Do you know what I mean? Kyle Walker, even at his age, people always say his defensive position is suspect, but he gets away with it because he's rapid. Do you know what I'm saying? But he never improved as a defender, bro. Like, not really. He was always.
I'm not gonna lie, disagree. I think players, even if you haven't got quite a defensive mind, I think you can get.
No, I think you can get more. I think you can get more intelligent, and maybe you don't go as forward as much because you don't have it in your legs. You know what I'm saying? Because even when I watch like Luke Shaw play, for instance, the reason why Luke Shaw wasn't getting taken on one-on-one as much is because he was very economical with when he went forward and when he didn't. But that was because he wasn't fit. You know them one. So it's one of them ones where the more you attack, the more likely you are to get caught going that way. If you don't go this way, you're not going to get caught that way. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes when you're older, you get better at knowing when to go and when not to go. But your ability to stop a player may not have increased, but because you're not going forward as much, you're not getting caught as much. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you look at Henderson, he's not a centre-back, but the reason why he can get away with it is because he's smart enough. He doesn't turn into a great one-on-one defender, but he's smart enough when to go, when not to go, and anticipation and stuff like that. But he's never going to be a great one-on-one defender, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Experience gives you that know-how, that street smarts, when to go, when not to go.
I agree with that, but there's many defensive players who have been known for good defending, and I'm trying to come up with a good example of who started off poor defensively and ended up, but I can't come up with one to support my argument. That being said, it's with players like Henderson, for example. You talk about anticipation. I feel like a lot of defensive players in their time, their defensive game was built on anticipation, anticipating the player coming towards them. I think that can get better, your anticipation of a player coming towards you and whatnot, because that's what I realised when I used to play football, completely different level. But I realised if I actually focus on what I feel like he's about to do, I will be a better defender for it. So
absolutely, but if you can't tackle, you still can't fucking tackle. Scholes couldn't tackle his whole career, and the older he got, the worse it got.
Facts, to be fair. But with slide tackling, no, I agree. I'm not expecting Trent to start putting in Virgil van Dijk crunch tackles and it look or even like a Wan-Bissaka, for example. He's very good at the slide tackles, but stand tackles, I've saw him do quite a lot of good one-on-one defending, which is the only reason why I'm bringing up he's okay. He's inconsistent right now, but I can think of probably loads of younger players who were inconsistent when they were at that stage in their career and went on to be able to show a little bit more maturity. I think Trent, even in his interviews, and some people will say, James, don't be comparing interviews with on football, but when you actually see a player and you actually see they want to improve and the way they look at themselves, you can see that Trent is, he's maturing as he's going, as everyone is, but he's doing it in a way where it only fills you with positive signs. Like, you can become a better player if you well and truly stick your mind to it.
The more experienced he gets, he will still become a better player. He'll become a better footballer.
But I think he can become a better... No, I agree.
As a defender,
I think, right, this is me, because you mentioned anticipation. I believe that can be improved and you can become more intelligent from a defensive aspect over time. Yeah. Maybe your ability to get a tackle in isn't up there with others, but, in terms of actually being able to anticipate where the player's going to go, I think that can get better. And in certain performances, Trent has shown that. It's just not consistent, but he's not 27. I get your point with primes as well, but if we're going notoriously of what people like to look at it, and I think there is some truth in what a prime is, and as you go on, you should really get better. Obviously, there's circumstances that come into play, but if everything goes smooth sailing, then you're all right. Trent is like that for me. I feel like he's only just going to keep blossoming because that's all he's done since he's came in the team.
I think he never came in and looked. I think he'll improve as a player, but the reason why I say this is he played CM in your youth team, and the thing is, even though he plays right back, he don't want to play there. Like that's the position he's played, yeah, because that's what got him in the team, bro. Obviously, you're not going to displace Steven Gerrard and that. Cool.
He played right back in our youth system as well.
Yeah, but they played him right back here, knowing that that's where they wanted to play him in the first team. You see it a lot of the time in academies, centre mids get moved to right back a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? It happens a lot.
Yeah.
So it's one of them things where they moved him to right back, knowing that, yo, he can get in the first team in this position. But the facts are, in his head, he's not a defender. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's playing right back, but he wants to attack. He wants to get involved. He's taking shots. He's taking free kicks.
Right, he's also being told to do that. He's also being told to do that a lot.
Because that's what his strengths are. None of his strengths are defensive. Do you know what I mean? And that's why in his head, he'll be like, yeah, I'm an attacking fullback, but he's attacking. And the thing is, the only way to get better at defending is to enjoy defending. And when I look at him, he doesn't look like he enjoys defending. It looks like when he comes up against tricky wingers, he don't want it, bro. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think many fucking defenders when a play. I mean, you know,
hey, Wan-Bissaka fucking loves it, mate. Like,
yeah, Wan-Bissaka, but he doesn't. He's not always perfect. He's a better.
He's not, but he fucking lives for it, bro. He's someone that looks like he wants to have a left winger for breakfast, bro. Like that's what he wants in the morning. He wakes up, he brushes his teeth, and he wants a fucking left winger running at him, bro. That's what he thrives on.
He might want that, but a players can end up wanting that. And Trent is one of them things, mate. He's just probably going to get better with time. I can't say definitely, but in my eyes, I think he just gets better with time, with better coaching. Like you say all the time about Jurgen, he's probably the best manager in the world right now, or he's there and thereabouts. If you're working with the best manager in the world, surely it only does you good. So even though it's about system, he can adapt. He's a player who's shown he can adapt. And, you know, you mentioned centre mid to right back. He's adapted to that position. And it's like now, every season, he's just got that little bit better. Besides this one, but this is our worst season as a team. So it's one of them things, really. So you can point, like what we were touching on earlier, and I know this started from talking about Phil Foden and whatnot, but you can single out Trent, and I'm not even talking to you, I'm talking to people who single out Trent. You can single out Trent for this, that, and the other, but also you've got to really admire for what he's done another level. And for what he's been told to do, he's done a great job. So that's the way I look at it.
No, listen, he's had more of a positive than a negative influence. You can't dispute that. You've won the Premier League, the Champions League. He's been a key player in both of those things, isn't it? But it's just that chinks in the armor are starting to be shown now because the team as a whole aren't playing well. And that's what the thing about systems are supposed to do. Systems are supposed to protect, the weaknesses in all your players. And when the system gets penetrated, that's when you start to see the holes in players, isn't it? So it's not his fault that he's looking the way he's looking. There's a problem with the system and the way everything's looking, but he's the one that's standing out to people only because it looks like he was at the top of the world 1 minute and now, do you know what I mean? He's looking like a shadow of his old self, bro. So that's why there's a conversation, but the real conversation is the whole thing's not working at the moment.
Yeah, with Liverpool, that's the way it is. Everything's not working. And to be honest, you can ask me how many times, what should Liverpool do to fix it? The answer is, it's just, I don't know. I can only tell you what I think. What I think will get better performances is move Hendo higher up and just kind of keep doing what you've been doing, but just get the players an inch or two up the pitch as well. Get them more closer to the halfway line than what they have been over recent weeks, because that's the issue. Get the ball to the attackers just that little bit quicker. How do you do that? Be just a little bit higher up the pitch. It's not really, rocket science. It's not that hard to really tell what's wrong with Liverpool right now. It's going forwards and it's offensive play. It's not even when it comes to them one-on-one defensive situations. Yes, Trent got beat twice by Sterling, and that in a lot of aspects caused us. But then Sterling also went on to take Fabinho out the game, and whoever else. Foden took out Robbo, and Robbo was usually a really good defender. Trent has had many great games, many great runs where he's looked good defensively. It's just now it's being highlighted more, especially with the fact in the past, like a few years ago, Rashford had him on toast, Zaha had him on toast a few seasons ago. And then there's been a few games this season, more so than over the past two, where he's had a poor game or a poor run of games. So I just think time will go nicely for Trent. And I know you disagree with me, Rants, which is fair enough. I get your point and I've took it in. The way I see it with Trent is time will be nice to you, my mate, and you've got all the capabilities up there in terms of IQ to become a better player overall. Whether you stay right back or not, you will be. Even if he goes back into midfield, I still think he'll become a better defensive player. He's just going to become better overall, is the way I see it.
So In short, yeah, you're not worried about his form. You don't think that his form is gonna have any long-lasting effects on him, and you think that he's just having a bad spell.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's not going to go on and have bad games in the future, but I think overall he is going to be known as one of the better right backs. You know, overall, defensively he might not be your favourite, but he's going to get better. He's going to get more consistent, and that's all I expect. And if he does do that, if he does go on to achieve that, then that's where I'll have been proven right in this situation. But he needs to go and do that first, of course.
Fair enough. Big up everyone inside. Big up everyone for the interaction. You know what it is. Smash that like button. Make sure you go follow James Redmond TV.
Appreciate
the hyperlink is in the title of the video.
We appreciate
that. Go over there, subscribe. Do you know what I'm saying? Top content as usual. Do you know what I mean? One of the most fucking level-headed scousers, bro. At least he knows what's going on at his football club, because too many of these guys are fucking deluded and overly sensitive.
Well, listen, lads, not a lot of people who watch me appreciate the way I speak about it. You know, don't forget.
Yeah, but your own fans wouldn't thank you for it. But people that fucking actually understand football, it's the same with me. A lot of my own fans are like, oh, you're always so fucking negative. Yeah, that's because I see the fucking train coming before I see the light in the tunnel. I know the train's coming.
Well, you've had the unfortunate thing of where your team's been shit while you've been on YouTube. See, where I started, we were very, very good. I was once saying Mane is the best player in the world. So you can say that I'm non-optimistic. But when we're doing well, I overemphasize all of our players. I will be unbearable when we win. But when we lose, you have just got to kind of see it for how it is at that moment. You really, really do. Otherwise, how are you going to get better? Us as Liverpool fans or you as a United fan, it's like, what you want for your team, you want them to get better. So I'm only saying my opinion on what it is. But many people see that as like, oh, so now you're saying Klopp's not good enough. That's like, no, he's just not making the right decisions that I.
This is the thing. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I started doing this YouTube thing when my team was shit. So everyone's just like, oh yeah, that's the guy that's always negative. No, because when my team win, I'm fucking buzzing, bro. But they don't win enough. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the season, when we win no fucking trophies, yeah, it's going to be another one of the same old shit. Do you know what I mean? So as much as I'd love to come up here and talk about how great everything is, it's not fucking great, is it? So, like, what do you want me to say?
I say that, you know, I'm thinking, like, if there's a comment, James, I've come here to laugh. What the fuck is there to laugh about? We've barely won a game since December, and you're coming here wanting laughs. Like, what's that performance that you've just seen? And then maybe you might get a laugh out of it because you're not getting it here. That's the way it is.
That's what I'm saying. I tell people, this is a football channel. Yeah, cool, you're going to get entertained, you're going to laugh and that, but ultimately, yeah, we're talking football here. You know them ones. Like, you're not going to get any over-the-top fucking reactions from me. You'll get that from Saeed and that. You ain't going to get that from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just going to get a fucking honest opinion from me. That's all you're going to get. You know them ones. So it is what it is. Like, everyone's got their own USPs, bro. I just want to talk about football in depth and hopefully enjoy some football. That's it. Do you know what I mean? All the extra fucking shit, you ain't going to get that here. Do you know what I mean? So if you don't want the truth, if you want propaganda, if you want man to suck off the Glazers and tell us how great everything's going to be and give Ollie time and we're this close to that and that, you're in the wrong place.
Facts.
That's what it is, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So big up everyone inside. Make sure you follow James Redmond TV. Big channel on YouTube, guys. And yo, man, that's me signing out for the day. I'll see you back tomorrow. What you got coming up? You got anything else on tonight? Or
I'm done for the day, me. But just make sure that you're on the channel over the next few days and keep an eye out.
That's it. So yeah, I'll be back again tomorrow, people. You already know what it is every day, and obviously it's match day tomorrow. So we got West Ham in the cup. So yeah, that's gonna be
we're not in it. So I'll probably be watching that watch along. To be fair,
you know, like that. So there you go.
We've got a nice week off now. You know what I mean.
To be fair, you don't fucking need it, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So
we need the 6 weeks in between the summer. That's what we need right now, my mates. I'll tell you that for free.
This is it. So big up everyone inside. Back again for the build up for the game tomorrow. What day is tomorrow? Tuesday. Yeah. So 6 o'clock. Show with Turkish, and then I think. Match. When's the fucking match? Is it at 8 o'clock? So I think it's at 7 o'clock. We got a match.
Probably later one.
Yeah. So 7:50. Oh shit! Hold on a minute. No, the game starts at 7:30 tomorrow. So yeah, I'm gonna have to move my show with Turkish tomorrow. Do it earlier. You know what I mean? It's match day, so I'm gonna have to shuffle a few things around, people. So yeah, big up everyone inside. Tomorrow we go again.